Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling more tired than when you went to bed? Did you know that more than 936 million people worldwide suffer from sleep apnea, a condition that can reduce your life expectancy by up to 15 years if left untreated? And snoring, that seemingly harmless sound that many consider merely an annoyance to the person sleeping next to them, is often the first warning sign that something much more serious is happening inside your body. Every night you snore, your brain may be deprived of oxygen hundreds of times, the equivalent of someone gently squeezing your neck repeatedly while you sleep. Scary, isn't it? The truth is that chronic snoring isn't just a noise problem, but a potential silent killer that increases your risk of premature death by 40%. Imagine waking up every day, feeling like you've run a marathon overnight, with a heavy head, foggy thoughts, and a fatigue so profound that no amount of coffee seems to help. This is the daily reality for those who suffer from severe sleep apnea. Your body is literally suffocating while you sleep, and snoring is the cry for help that many ignore for years, sometimes decades. Can you feel the weight of it? That feeling that something is wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Maybe you've normalized waking up exhausted. Maybe you've accepted that high blood pressure, unexplained weight gain, and constant irritability are just part of aging. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? That there's a real affordable solution that can literally add years to your life and dramatically improve the quality of each of those days. After years of studying this topic in depth and seeing impressive transformations in people who implemented the right strategies, I can assure you that there is real hope even for the most severe cases. If you've identified with anything I've mentioned so far, don't close this video. What I'm about to share in the next few hours could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. If you snore, feel fatigued for no apparent reason, or know someone who does, this could be the most important video you watch this year. I know it sounds exaggerated, but when we understand that untreated sleep apnea is linked to strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, depression, and even dementia, the severity becomes clear. Please subscribe to the channel now and turn on the notification bell. I'm not doing this just to gain followers, but because I regularly share information that can completely transform your health and quality of life. Also leave a comment saying, "I want to breathe better," to let me know you're committed to your respiratory health. Every person we reach with this information is potentially a life-saved a family that won't have to deal with the devastating consequences of a condition that many doctors still underestimate. We're all on this journey together for peaceful nights and energized days. Let's start by understanding exactly what happens in your body when you snore every night. Snoring occurs when airflow encounters resistance as it passes through your airway during sleep. When we sleep, the muscles in the palate, tongue, and throat relax. In some people, this relaxation is so pronounced that it partially or completely narrows the airway. As air tries to pass through this reduced space, the soft tissues vibrate, creating the characteristic snoring sound. Think of it as a peaceful river that suddenly encounters a narrowing in its course. The water that once flowed calmly now churns and makes a noise as it passes through the obstacle. This is exactly what happens in your throat when you snore. But the problem goes far beyond noise. When your airway is partially blocked, your body has to work much harder to get the oxygen it needs. Your heart pumps harder, your blood pressure increases, and significant stress is placed on your entire cardiovascular system. Imagine your body as a machine designed to run on a specific amount of fuel. When the flow of this fuel is restricted, the engine begins to malfunction, straining certain components and prematurely wearing others. This is why chronic snoring and sleep apnea are so strongly linked to heart problems. Imagine a person who snored so loudly that their partner had to sleep in another room. For years, He ignored the signs, attributing his constant fatigue to work stress and age, until one day, after nearly falling asleep at the wheel with his children in the car, he finally sought help. After diagnosis and proper treatment, he said it was like getting a second chance at life. I had no idea how I was living half a life. Waking up truly rested after years was like seeing the world in color after a life in black and white. Stories like this are more common than you might think. Snoring is also closely linked to the quality of your sleep, even when it doesn't progress to apnea. When you snore, you often miss out on the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep known as slow-wave sleep and REM sleep. These stages are crucial for memory consolidation, cellular repair, hormonal regulation, and immune function. Without them, you can sleep 8 hours and still wake up feeling as if you've only slept 3 or 4. It's like filling a tank with holes in it. No matter how much fuel you put in, it's never enough because it's constantly leaking. Now think about the long-term consequences of this. Your body never truly recovers completely, never properly resets your brain chemistry, never has the chance to carry out all the repair processes that depend on deep, uninterrupted sleep. This explains why people who snore frequently report memory problems, difficulty concentrating, irritability, decreased libido, and a greater propensity for accidents and mistakes at work. It's not just fatigue, it's a systematic degradation of your quality of life. If what I've said so far resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments below. Do you feel like snoring is affecting your life? You might not even realize how much until you start analyzing your daily energy patterns, your ability to focus, and your mood. Every comment can help someone else realize they're not alone in this struggle. Let's work together to break the silence about this problem that affects so many lives. Now let's explore the types of snoring and what each can indicate about your health. Not all snoring is created equal. Nasal snoring, for example, is usually related to allergies, a deviated septum, or nasal congestion. It's a higher-pitched snoring that often improves when the person changes position. Palatal snoring, which comes from the soft palate, produces that deeper, more constant sound that many associate with sawing wood. This type of snoring is more concerning because it's often associated with sleep apnea. There's also lingual snoring, which occurs when the base of the tongue relaxes and falls, back partially blocking the throat. This type is particularly common in overweight people or those who consume alcohol before bed. Understanding your type of snoring can be the first step toward finding the most appropriate solution. Now let's get to the most alarming point: sleep. Apnea, which affects approximately 1 billion people worldwide, with 80% of cases remaining undiagnosed. In obstructive sleep apnea, the most common form, the airway completely collapses during sleep, completely blocking the passage of air for periods that can last from 10 seconds to over a minute. During these episodes, your blood oxygen level drops dramatically and your brain panics. It's as if you're drowning repeatedly throughout the night. In response, your brain emits an alarm signal that forces a brief awakening, often so brief that you don't even remember it in the morning. This cycle can repeat dozens or even hundreds of times per night in severe cases. Each time this happens, your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, putting your cardiovascular system into emergency mode repeatedly. It's as if someone is pressing your body's panic button repeatedly throughout the night. Imagine a person who for years woke up with severe headaches, unexplained exhaustion, and medication-resistant high blood pressure. Doctor after doctor prescribed different treatments, but nothing completely resolved the issue. Until one day, during a routine checkup, an attentive doctor asked about her sleep habits and suggested a sleep study. The result, more than 30 apnea episodes per hour. The first day using the CPAP device, it was like someone flipped a switch. For the first time in years, I felt truly awake, truly present. My blood pressure began to normalize, the headache subsided, and my family said I felt like a different person. This transformation is not uncommon when sleep apnea is finally diagnosed and properly treated. If you're finding this information helpful and it's helping you better understand potential sleep-related issues, please comment below. This helps me know I'm on the right track and encourages me to continue bringing you content that can improve your quality of life. Let's now explore the long-term consequences of chronic snoring and untreated sleep apnea. The numbers are alarming. People with untreated sleep apnea have a 2 to 3-fold increased risk of developing hypertension, a 3-fold increased risk of developing heart disease, and a 4-fold increased risk of suffering a stroke. But why each time you have an apnea episode your blood oxygen level drops significantly? This intermittent hypoxia, as experts call it, triggers a cascade of inflammatory reactions in the body. Your arteries suffer micro-injuries that over time contribute to plaque buildup and eventual hardening of the arteries. It's as if each apnea episode leaves a small scar on your cardiovascular system. Thousands of these scars eventually compromise the health of your heart and blood vessels. Furthermore, sleep apnea significantly interferes with glucose metabolism, increasing the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Studies show that even a single night of fragmented sleep can reduce insulin sensitivity by 25%. Imagine the cumulative impact of years of poor sleep. It's as if your body is constantly fighting a losing battle against blood sugar. This explains why so many people with untreated apnea struggle with unexplained weight gain despite diet and exercise. Their body simply isn't processing nutrients as it should. The impact on the brain is equally concerning. Chronic oxygen deprivation and fragmented sleep are associated with structural changes in the brain, particularly in areas related to memory and executive function. A recent study published in the Journal of Sleep Research found that people with moderate to severe sleep apnea had the equivalent of nearly 10 years of additional brain aging compared to people without the condition. Think about it. Your brain is essentially aging faster every night you spend with untreated apnea. This explains why the condition is strongly associated with an increased risk of cognitive decline, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. Imagine a 45-year-old who began noticing troubling memory lapses, difficulty finding words, and a constant brain fog that hampered their work performance. Doctors initially suspected stress or even early signs of dementia. After months of worry and tests, a perceptive neurologist suggested a sleep study. The diagnosis revealed severe apnea, with their brain being deprived of oxygen more than 40 times an hour. 3 months after starting treatment, it was like the fog had lifted. I could think clearly again, my memory improved, and that constant fear that I was developing dementia disappeared. I never imagined that my snoring could literally be suffocating my brain. Another often overlooked aspect is the impact on mental health. People with sleep apnea have significantly higher rates of depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders. The relationship is two-way. Apnea causes mood disorders due to sleep deprivation and hormonal dysregulation, and these disorders in turn can worsen sleep quality. It's a vicious cycle that often goes unnoticed, with patients being treated only for depression or anxiety when the underlying problem is sleep-related. Consider how many people are taking antidepressants that might not be necessary if their apnea were properly treated. I need to pause here and ask, do you recognize yourself in any of these descriptions? Do you wake up exhausted even after what seemed like a full night's sleep? Has your partner ever commented on frightening periods where you seem to stop breathing during the night? Or maybe you live alone and have never had anyone observe your sleep patterns, but struggle daily with an inexplicable fatigue that no amount of coffee can completely resolve. I want you to know that you are not alone. Millions of people around the world experience the same struggles, carrying the burden of chronic fatigue without understanding its true cause. If anything I've shared so far resonated with you, please share your experience in the comments. It could be something simple like, I wake up more tired than when I go to sleep, or I've been struggling with high blood pressure that doesn't improve with medication. Your comment could be the catalyst someone else needs to seek help. Plus, it helps me create content more relevant to your specific needs. Together, we're building a supportive community where no one needs to suffer in silence from the devastating effects of poor sleep. Now let's address the risk factors for snoring and sleep apnea. Understanding what increases your vulnerability is the first step to taking effective preventative measures. Being overweight is probably the most significant risk factor, with studies showing that a 10% increase in body weight is associated with a 6-fold increased risk of developing sleep apnea. This occurs because fat accumulates around the neck, compressing the upper airway. It's like trying to breathe through a straw that's being slightly squeezed. It requires much more effort and can eventually collapse completely. Other risk factors include advanced age, as muscle tone naturally decreases with aging. Being male, although postmenopausal women also have an increased risk, a family history of snoring or apnea, consumption of alcohol or sedatives before bed, smoking, and certain anatomical features such as a receding jaw, enlarged tonsils, or a deviated septum. Alcohol consumption deserves special attention here. Many people use a drink before bed to relax without realizing they are potentially worsening their sleep problems. Alcohol excessively relaxes the throat muscles, significantly increasing the risk of snoring and apnea, even in people who don't normally experience these problems. It's like adding extra weight to a rope already stretched to its limit. Eventually, it will give. A recent study showed that moderate alcohol consumption before bed can increase the severity of apnea by up to 30%. This explains why many people snore louder and have more restless nights after drinking alcohol. Another often underestimated factor is sleeping position. Sleeping on your back significantly increases the risk of snoring and apnea because gravity pulls the tongue and other soft tissues backward, partially obstructing the airway. Imagine your throat as a tube. When you're standing or sitting, gravity helps keep this tube open. But when you lie on your back, gravity works against you, pulling the tongue and other tissues backward. This is why many people snore only in this position. Imagine a person who spent years trying different treatments for their snoring without significant success. They had tried mouthpieces, nasal sprays, even surgery, but the problem persisted. It was only when a sleep specialist suggested a simple change in sleeping position combined with moderate weight loss and eliminating the nightly glass of wine that they finally experienced significant improvement. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but after a few weeks of rigorously following these recommendations, my partner noticed a dramatic difference. The snoring that used to echo through the house was now barely audible, and I finally began to experience what it means to truly rest at night. If this information is helpful to you, please leave a comment saying, "Continuing to learn," to help me understand that you're following and value this content. Your feedback is crucial for me to continue bringing you information that truly makes a difference in your life. Let's now explore the different diagnostic and treatment methods available. If you suspect you have sleep apnea, the first step is to seek medical help. A definitive diagnosis usually involves a sleep study, which can be performed in a specialized laboratory or in some cases in your own home with portable equipment. This test monitors your breathing, oxygen levels, body movements, sleep stages, and heart rate throughout the night. It's like having a full team of specialists observing every aspect of your sleep, collecting data that can reveal patterns invisible to the naked eye. The result includes the apnea-hypopnea index AHI, which indicates the number of episodes of apnea or hypopnea, partial reduction in airflow per hour of sleep. An AHI less than 5 is considered normal. Between 5 and 15 indicates mild apnea, between 15 and 30 moderate, and above 30 severe. Once diagnosed, several treatment options are available depending on the severity of your condition. For mild to moderate cases, lifestyle changes can make a significant difference. Weight loss, smoking cessation, reduced alcohol consumption, and changes in sleeping position are often the first recommendations. Think of it like removing weights from a scale that's already out of balance. Every small change helps restore the natural balance. Oral devices that advance the jaw or hold the tongue can also be effective for mild to moderate cases. They work by keeping the airway open like a brace that prevents a structure from collapsing. For moderate to severe cases, the most effective treatment is usually CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure, a device that delivers a constant flow of pressurized air through a mask, keeping the airway open during sleep. It's like adding internal support to the tunnel of your airway, ensuring it remains open regardless of muscle relaxation. While adapting to CPAP can be challenging initially, the benefits are often transformative. Imagine going from a life where you never truly feel rested to waking up refreshed with mental clarity and renewed energy. It's this transformation that many patients describe after adapting to CPAP treatment. There are also surgical options for specific cases, such as uvulopalator which removes excess tissue from the throat, maxillomandibular advancement, which repositions the jaw, or nasal surgery to correct structural problems. These procedures are like redesigning the architecture of your airway to improve airflow. However, it's important to note that not everyone is an ideal candidate for surgery, and results can vary significantly. Therefore, a thorough evaluation by a specialist is crucial before considering surgical options. Positional therapies have also gained popularity in recent years. These are devices you wear while sleeping to avoid sleeping on your back, the position most conducive to snoring and apnea. Some are as simple as a tennis ball sewn into the back of a t-shirt, while others are sophisticated electronic devices that vibrate gently when you turn over, signaling you to change position without waking up completely. It's like having a personal sleep coach working silently throughout the night. Imagine a person who struggled with severe sleep apnea for years, trying and abandoning CPAP multiple times due to discomfort. After nearly giving up, she was introduced to a new mask model and a more modern CPAP device with adjustable humidification and exhalation pressure relief. The difference was like night and day. The new masks are much more comfortable, and the device is so quiet that my partner doesn't even notice it's on. It took a few weeks to fully adapt, but now I can't imagine sleeping without it. My energy is back, my blood pressure has normalized, and that constant brain fog is finally gone. Now let's talk about some complementary therapies that can help reduce snoring and improve sleep quality. Oropharyngeal exercises, for example, have shown promising results in recent studies. These exercises strengthen the muscles of the tongue, soft palate and throat, reducing their tendency to collapse during sleep. It's like going to the gym for your airway muscles. A study published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine showed that patients who performed these exercises for 3 months reduced the severity of apnea by approximately 40%. Some examples include pushing the tongue against the roof of the mouth, sucking the tongue against the palate, or exaggerating certain vowels for a few minutes daily. Acupuncture has also shown some benefit in preliminary studies, possibly through improving upper airway muscle tone or reducing inflammation. Think of it as gently adjusting the electrical system that controls these muscles, allowing them to respond more efficiently during sleep. Meditation and relaxation techniques before bed can also improve sleep quality, although they don't directly treat apnea. They work by reducing stress and preparing the body for more restful, restorative sleep. If you followed along and found this information valuable, please like this video and share it with someone you think could benefit from this knowledge. Each share could potentially help someone suffering in silence without understanding the root cause of their health issues. Now let's address some common myths about snoring and sleep apnea. One of the most persistent is that snoring is merely a nuisance with no health consequences. As we've seen so far, this couldn't be further from the truth. Snoring often signals an underlying problem that can have serious implications for your cardiovascular, metabolic, and cognitive health. Another common myth is that sleep apnea only affects older, overweight men. While this is indeed a high-risk group, the condition can affect people of all ages, genders, and body types. Children with enlarged tonsils, women during and after menopause, and even thin people with certain anatomical characteristics can develop sleep apnea. It's like assuming that only old cars can break down when in fact even new ones can have problems under certain conditions. Many people also incorrectly believe that alcohol helps them sleep better, while alcohol may make it easier to fall asleep. Initially, it severely compromises sleep quality, especially later in the night, and significantly worsens snoring and apnea. It's like hiring a security guard who initially seems to be doing a good job, but then ends up falling asleep on the job, leaving the door open for trouble to creep in. Another dangerous myth is that you can simply get used to less or poorer quality sleep. Your body doesn't adapt to chronic sleep or oxygen deprivation. Instead, the negative effects silently accumulate over time, like an invisible debt that will eventually need to be paid off, often with interest in the form of health problems. Think of your body as a complex machine that requires regular maintenance. You can ignore the warning signs for a while, but eventually the system will begin to fail. Imagine a person who for years believed that snoring was simply part of her genetic makeup, something inherited from her father and grandfather, both notorious snorers. She joked about her powerful snoring at family gatherings, never considering the implications for her health. It was only after her older brother suffered an early heart attack and was subsequently diagnosed with severe sleep apnea that she decided to seek medical evaluation. The diagnosis was a literal and figurative wake-up call. I discovered I had been joking about something that had been silently damaging my heart and brain for years. I still regret all those wasted years when I could have spent treating the problem, instead of normalizing it. As we near the conclusion of this video, I want to emphasize the importance of taking snoring seriously as a potential warning sign. If you snore regularly, especially if you also experience daytime fatigue, morning headaches, high blood pressure, or unexplained mood swings, please talk to a healthcare professional about the possibility of sleep apnea. Early diagnosis and treatment can literally add years to your life and dramatically improve the quality of those years. Think of all the things you could do with more energy, better mood, and mental clarity. Think about what it would be like to wake up feeling truly rested, perhaps for the first time in years. Remember that treating sleep apnea benefits not only you, but also your loved ones. Partners of people with untreated apnea often suffer from fragmented sleep, which can lead to relationship strain and health problems of their own. Furthermore, treating your apnea significantly reduces the risk of sleep-related accidents, protecting you and those around you. It's an investment not only in your health, but also in your family, career, and overall quality of life. If you snore or suspect you may have sleep apnea, here are steps you can take today. First, start keeping a sleep diary, noting how you feel upon waking, any nighttime awakenings you notice, and your energy level during the day. This will provide valuable information for your doctor. Second, ask your partner or a family member to observe your sleep, occasionally paying attention to loud snoring pauses in breathing or choking. Third, consider downloading a sleep recording app that can capture sounds throughout the night, giving you an idea of the frequency and intensity of your snoring. Finally, schedule an appointment with your doctor to discuss your symptoms and the possibility of a sleep study. Remember, knowledge is power, but only when applied. All the information in the world won't make a difference if you don't take the next step and seek help. Don't normalize chronic fatigue. Don't accept waking up exhausted as your default state. You deserve better, and with the tools and treatments available today, better sleep and a more energized life are within your reach. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video until the end. If you found this information helpful, please show your support by liking it, sharing it with someone who could benefit, and subscribing to the channel for more content on sleep health and overall well-being. In the comments, I'd love to hear what part of this information was most surprising or helpful to you. Your responses help me create future content that truly addresses your needs and interests. Soon I'll be releasing detailed videos on every aspect of sleep apnea treatment, including a step-by-step guide to adapting to CPAP oropharyngeal exercises you can do at home, and weight loss strategies specifically targeted to improve respiratory health. Don't miss out. Turn on the notification bell to be the first to know when these valuable resources are available. Remember, every better night's sleep is a step toward a longer, healthier, and happier life. See you in the next video.